Welcome to another exciting episode of the Million Dollar Peddlers. I'm Paper Guy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
And it is BOLO Day. Every Saturday, we go through sales highlights from the prior week, bring them on up, talk about them a bit of a deep dive into what they are and why they are, what they sold for, why they sold, to give you a little bit of help out there. Now, Mr. Magazine was running a little bit behind today, so I have chosen his items for him, so he has no idea what's coming out. So take it away, Mr. Magazine.
All right, here we go. First up, it looks like CVS Universal Studios Monsters Plushies with Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, and so forth.
Now, the tags are missing on them. Okay. My first question is, when did these come out? These were not that long ago, were they?
I don't think they're that old. I would
like
say
2010?
Yeah, I was going to say 10 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, so they went for $5 a piece. Now, doesn't that seem a little bit cheaper? Do you think it's because they're not have the tags, or do you think because there's a lot of them out there?
Yeah, I think they're newer and they don't have the tags. I would think they would do it, sure.
Do that?
Yeah.
But again, this is one of those things, if you're out there at a sale and you found it for $5 for the four of them, $1 each, $4 for four, whatever,
yeah,
you could still get...
And they're small. They're like Beanie Babies.
Okay.
They're tiny ones, too. So, I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
Oh, no, that's good to know, too, because, again, these might be hidden in somebody's Beanie Baby collection.
Yeah,
somebody could have a big bin of Beanie Babies,
yep.
And everything in there is $1 a piece, and you could find these in there, and you get $7 a piece out of them anyway, which isn't great,
No,
but on
right.
the other hand, if you pay $1 each for them...
Absolutely.
Nice.
All right. Next up, what did I just do? Here we go. I don't know what this is, but it's an it's an RWBY plush. Plush has to be the good sellers. RWBY plush Ruby Weiss Yang lot of 3, and this is the first time I've ever seen this in my life. And surprisingly, it went for $100.
That was why I brought it up, because I didn't know what it was either.
Yeah,
so
don't ask me anything about it, so I'm not going to know.
Oh, it comes to showing. All right, well, everybody out there, if you see
probably
these,
came from the same lot, maybe the same collection, right? Who knows?
if you see these out there, they went for $35 a piece. That's not much of a deep dive.
Oh yeah, just you got to figure out what RWBY is and Ruby Weiss. Oh, I guess it's Ruby Weiss Yang, right?
I guess.
All right, moving on to something I know a little more about. It's football. Buffalo Bills helmet lamp by Kraft. And I think I took $40 on this. I think I paid about $25. It's pretty cool. It's a full-size helmet. It does have the old school helmet, so it's probably from the 80s, I'm guessing. And,
Probably 70s. I think they did those in the 70s, yeah. My question on this is, did you test it? And if you didn't, it doesn't appear as though you did. Could you have gotten more if you said it worked?
I want to say it did come with a light bulb. I would have think my guy would have plugged it in, but I don't know.
Not that it's hard to rewire a lamp. Not
Right.
that somebody wouldn't want to rewire the lamp, but
the cord looks like it's nice and good shape. It doesn't look like it's all ratty or anything. So I'm going to assume it worked. But again, my lister did not say it worked. So
well, you'll find these out there if you live in any football town. You'll find things like this out there. They definitely are out there because they would have done these for every team at the time.
Right, yep. All right, next up. All right, we got Gucci new hat and adjustable hat. That's about all you're going to get out of this. I don't have the best pictures from my lister. It does look like a flimsy hat, though. But still, probably I would have put it on something round so it would look a little more desirable. But again, it went for $58. And again, I don't think I've ever seen this before in my life.
Well, the reason why I brought that up was anytime I see something like a Gucci, I'd be a little afraid to sell it because, A, you don't know, and apparently Gucci isn't one of the brands that is zeroed. But then the other question is it real?
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing that...
It must be. It went through.
Well, I'm guessing they're not knocking off hats. They're going to knock off a $500 purse, not say this hat went for $100 new. I don't know. But I'm assuming these are less desirable to knock off than a $500 or $1,000 purse.
It did pick up 20 bids, though, as well, so that's a positive sign as well. So that was kind of why I was wondering.
And I'm sure the Gucci buyers, they would probably know, too, and they would report it if it wasn't, like you said.
So. Right, and this is one of those things, and I've mentioned it before, sometimes something rather like this, I would take a little less on just to move it out
sure.
because I don't want it sitting there for a long period of time.
True.
Not that you're not allowed to sell it, but it's just one of those things that you sit there and you wonder and you go, you never know. Tomorrow Gucci can suddenly say you can't sell it. Let me just get rid of this.
I mean, this was in a box of hats that have been stored at the warehouse for years, so it's like finding $58.
Nice.
Next up, Popular Science Magazine, Apple's 32-bit Mini Mac, 1984. So it didn't go for much.
Right,
But
that
it
was
was
my
also
question.
listed 6 years ago. So that's crazy.
That's my question
I mean,
is...
the listing looks good. Everything's in there from the cover. I mean, what more could you do?
It seems like a low price. That would be
Yeah.
one that if I were out at a sale and they had Popular Science magazines for $1 a piece. Now, obviously, anything really old you buy. I mean, by
Right.
really old, I mean
Yeah.
like 1910s and 20s.
Right.
Beyond that, most of them I stay away from. This would be one that if the guy had a pile of them out there at $1 a piece, I would grab.
Right.
Obviously, I wouldn't grab if I thought it would just go for $8.70 and,
Right,
and
right.
take 6 years to sell.
Yeah.
So I think what this proves is that your listings get buried after a while
Sure.
because
Yeah, absolutely.
obviously this should sell.
Sure. And for more money, too.
Yep. So it
Yeah.
obviously it got buried because it had been on for 6 years.
Yeah. All right, next up. All right, this was a huge model collection I bought about a year ago. There was these, I guess they were
Micro scale decals.
Well, they were micro scale decals. I want to say after the fact. So if you want to
Okay.
do custom airplanes, you buy these. If you wanted certain flags and certain, Army, Navy, Air Force, certain countries and so forth. 172 scale with letters. But we found a huge box of these, and I think we sold them in lots of 10. So, and they all went for, a lot of them went for $50 a
Yeah,
lot.
that's why I brought them up because I didn't know what they were. So
Right.
I was hoping you could tell us what they were because again I didn't
Yeah,
know.
I did a little research before I moved them onto my lister, and I said in lots they're selling for about $5 a piece. Individually, you might be able to get 5 to 10 if they were looking for something specific. But I go, we have thousands of these. Just knock them out $50 per 10, and that's what we sold. Some guy spent 500 on a bunch of them, so they're flying off the shelves.
So I guess my other question is, and just take any one of them. Take the one on the top right. Did you have multiples of that one, or like of each of those? Did you have multiples?
I
Or-
told my guy to kind of divide them up by if they're like type of airplane or type of certain scale, or if it's all Army or all Germany or something like that. So do the best you can with it. Looks like there's a variety of stuff between letters, decals, and so forth.
Well, I guess my question is like the thing on the top right. You did. It's not like you had 20 of that.
No,
one.
I don't
Okay.
think so. Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
Because
There was a lot of different ones.
Because my thought would be, let's say you only had 40 different ones, but you had hundreds of them in the box. At that point, I might actually have done the quantity on eBay.
Okay, right.
And done $5 a piece,
Yeah.
quantity 40 or whatever, and then just let them sell out that way.
Right.
Usually it's not worth selling those low price things like that.
Yeah.
However, in a case like that, if you had 20 different ones with 40 of each, it might be
Yeah.
worth doing it that way.
We had a lot of people emailing, so there's a lot of interest in that stuff.
Okay,
So
yeah.
very cool.
Good to know. Good to know on that. That's why I
got
brought
another,
that up.
I got
Yep.
another one up here.
You do?
All right, last one for me. Betty Page autographed 8x10 photo with JSA COA. This I got certified from JSA when they came to my warehouse, and it went for $400. Can't argue with that.
Yeah. Well,
I'm happy.
Well, and to anybody out there, Betty Page is one of the pinups, one of the classic pinups that they're pretty much anything Betty Page tends to sell from what I've seen.
Yep.
Even a lot of the newer stuff will sell on Betty Page.
Yep. If you want some photos, we have them for sale as well,
Nice.
unsigned.
Nice. Head on over into the few things I had. It was a slow week for me, but not in Cato, New York. 100 Years and Then Some booklet, 1980 soft cover, $33 out of this. And I brought this up for one reason alone. I always stress, and I do it with upstate New York because obviously there's a lot of upstate New York stuff around here. But no matter where you live at, your small towns, your communities around you are going to have these kind of things. Your local historian will put it out. They'll have a 150th anniversary celebration, a 200th year anniversary, and so on. And I don't care what state you're in, the little communities around you will put these things out, and you will end up finding these out there. And there will be people out there that want them. And I stress that. I bring up this sort of thing quite regularly in these videos, just to tell you that is an area that is untapped by a lot of people. And, I'm sure I didn't pay more than $1 for this, and I got $33 out of it.
Wow.
Cannot argue with that whatsoever. And I'll pick up another one at some point because they made, how many of them they made? 100 of them, 500 of them, 1,000 of them,
Right.
whatever they have. At some point, another one will come into my possession. I'll list it again. And guess what? It'll sell at some point as well because they're not making them anymore. Only so many people in Cato bought them in the first place. Somebody moves into that town and they want to explore the history, they go and buy this.
Right.
So that is a great place that you can continue to make money at, is whatever area you live in. Check out anything you see, booklets, brochures, all that from the small towns around you. People will want them. And you might think, these are common. Yes, they are. But if my grandma grew up in Cato, New York, and I want to get her a gift for her 80th birthday, this is a great thing to get. And if I'm living in Texas and she's living in Arizona right now, where am I going to get it?
Well, how many could they have made of this? 100?
100, 500? Yeah, who knows? A couple hundred? Yeah, at most.
There's probably 500 people in the whole town.
Right, exactly. Exactly. But again, that is a huge place you can make money. Pin-ups.
Oh, nice.
Pin-up poster book, the Elfgren Collection signed limited edition hardcover, 1995.
Cool.
I think I took a $60 offer on it, something or other like that. Came in a box of stuff that I had. And a lot of times, things are signed limited edition and you don't necessarily know them. After you've been around books for a while, you tend to have an idea of things that might be signed. I'll give you another little insider tip, and I've done well enough with it. At book sales, I always check the sports books. So if you're at a book sale, check the sports books. A lot of times those end up being sold. Want to give a shout out to Auction Professor. He's mentioned Anne Rice books, and sure enough, I was able to find a signed Anne Rice book at a sale one day because I just pulled those off and this one's signed. So over time, you kind of get an idea. Another thing, a lot of those local history books are signed. Now, there isn't usually a lot of difference in value between a signed and an unsigned one, but still, it's another thing you can market it as, hey, this is signed. So limited editions the same way. Sometimes you can find some of those. A lot of times those get passed by because a lot of times some of the limited edition books don't come with dust jackets. So people will think, oh, this doesn't have a dust jacket, it's not any good. No, that might actually be the limited edition version of it. Just keep going to the sales, keep touching as many books as you can when you're out there, and over time you'll learn the insider tricks on those sort of things. Don't do a lot with albums, yet I always seem to bring an album up here. Jeff Tyzik, Prophecy, signed record album, Vinyl 33, Rochester, New York. I was actually at a thrift store, and it's a sealed album. Now, they did pull the plastic away so he could sign it.
Gotcha, cool.
But again, I saw this over there, and I think it's from 1980-ish. And I said, how many of these can possibly have been made in the first place?
Yeah.
It's never been played because it's still otherwise sealed, and it's signed.
Yeah.
You put that up, and I pay $1 for it. You can't help but make money on it. Now, it did take 2 years to sell, but still, you can't argue about turning $1 into 24.
I think unsigned and sealed, they go sell for $23.
You're probably right. You're probably right. Pierce Fire Apparatus Company, vintage trucker's hat cap snapback.
That's how you take a nice picture of a hat. You should teach my employee.
I think I took $15 on it, but I was happy to see it go. It took 2 years to sell. One of the live shows I mentioned, I had bought a whole bunch of truckers or hats, caps, whatever you want to call them. And I think I paid $10, $15 for the whole box of like 20, 25 of them.
Nice.
So there was nothing in there killer. Didn't make a lot of money off of it, like, no $100 hats or anything like that. But still, I almost got all my money back off of this hat, and this is like the 5th or 6th hat I sold out of the box. It just goes to show that if you pay the right price, you can make money no matter what. And the last item we have today, before you hit the like button, Heroic Fantasy 1979 calendar, Boris Vallejo.
Sure.
Ken Kelly, Paul Stinson, Esteban Morato. This actually surprised me that it's only worth $28.
It is old.
Yeah, it's old, and it's got some great graphics in there. I was one of those that when I saw it, I got all excited, and I didn't pay a lot. I paid $1 for it. But I was like, oh, this is going to be killer. And it ends up only being a $28 calendar. That being said, turning $1 into 28, there's nothing to sneeze at as far as that goes. But again, it's something other that I thought would be better. But a lot of people walk right by old calendars. It definitely is a niche area. I know you've done very well with calendars in the past. I pick them up when I see them out there as well because a lot of people don't want to deal with them. A little insider secret, buy a few record boxes. That's the easiest way to ship these. Generally, 95% of the calendars will fit perfectly into a record box. So have a few of those on hand if you're going to get into the calendar business. Hopefully that helped you a little bit. Hit the like button, and we will see you next video.
Take care. Bye-bye.